Good morning. I'm Allegra Ramos of Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, and today I'm here with my friend Christine. Hi, Christine.
Hi, guys.
I think those of you who've watched regularly have seen Christine before. I have her on frequently. She's former director of HR for some really big companies here in Los Angeles. She's also a mom like me, and we have been friends for a long, long time.
A long time.
More than 3 decades. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's so crazy.
that
So
does
30
sound
something years.
crazy when you say that out loud.
We met in 8th grade. Okay, so let's
That's right.
just whatever that math is. I don't
Yeah.
know anymore. And so today because I have Christine here, we're just going to get straight into our topic. And our topic today is that run up to school year planning, what you can do to help ensure that your kiddo starts school, on their best foot. And for those of you who might not be starting school till September, yay that you get to watch
Yeah.
this now because you have a couple more weeks to think about it. My kid's school year starts August 14th. How about yours?
We're on the 12th, so just a few days before you.
Okay, so basically 2 weeks. So that's
Mhm.
why I did the podcast today, because that's kind of the perfect amount of time that you need to prepare, in my opinion.
Yep.
And again, if you start in September, you have a little more time. So just to give you some background, my kiddo is starting 10th grade at a traditional public school, although she is in a magnet program. And I homeschooled her up until last year. So freshman year of high school was her first year in a quote unquote traditional school. And if you want to find out more about that, listen to podcasts from last year. I'm not going to talk about that on this podcast, but she's significantly older than Chris's kids, who are.
Yes. So I have my son who's going to be starting 4th grade, and my 10-year-old is going to be starting 5th grade.
Yes, they're close together. Itty
They're
bitty.
pretty close together. It's going to be interesting when my daughter goes off to middle school next year, and they're in different schools.
Yes, that's going to be a lot for you driving
Yeah.
wise. We'll have to talk about that at some point, because I'm sure you're going to have to figure that all out. But
Exactly.
so I have 5 tips, and I know Christine has some tips, but I just want to start with what I consider to be the most important tip, because it kind of takes the longest, which is wake up time. Number 1, wake up time. If your kiddo's like mine, she has been sleeping in really late.
Mm-hmm.
How about your kid? How late are your kids sleeping?
So it's interesting. My son has always been an early riser, even for the summer. My daughter, however, we call her the preteen. She could sleep till 11 or noon. So we have
Wow.
been yes, yes. So we have been starting the process of breaking her from that habit, since our school wake up is probably going to be around 6:30, 6:45 a.m.
Yeah, so I've been working on waking her up 10 minutes earlier every day starting today, because she was still asleep at 8:30,
Mhm.
and she has to get up around 6:30 to get ready for school. So by doing 10 minutes earlier every day, we can back into that, 2 hours earlier that she
Yeah,
needs to be getting up.
right.
And I mean, really the only way to do it is to make sure that they're really tired, so that they're wanting to go to bed earlier. And the only way to do
Right.
that is to wake them up earlier.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'm
you're
doing the
right.
10 minutes a day earlier for 2 weeks, uh,
Okay. Now, does
sort of
that
thing.
also mean you're being firm around the bedtime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So she has to get ready for bed at 8:30,
Yeah.
which might be later than some of y'all. It's hard when the sun is still out. The sun has only set like around 7:30 at our
Right.
place. So 8:30 is kind of like the darkest, where she's like, okay, it looks like bedtime. I'm hoping
Sure.
that by next week it's moved to 8 o'clock. She's starting to get ready for bed. So she's asleep by 8:30.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, when we first moved to Texas, we were very excited to buy our home right next door to the community pool, because when the kids weren't in school, it was great not to have to get into a car to drive to
Mm.
the pool. Now, however, trying to put 2 kids to bed before 9, when all they can hear next door in the community pool are exactly, they're so confused. They're like, why do we have to be in our rooms when everyone's swimming? So,
You're not earning any
Yeah.
mom points. You're like, let's
No,
turn the air conditioning up louder.
that's right.
We
That's right.
need
Yeah.
lots of background noise. That's funny. Okay, so here's tip number 2, and this is something for you to think about next year. I don't know that they offered at every grade, but my kiddo's school offered a bridge program that
Mm.
started, like, just, like, a couple weeks before school, and the whole idea was to give new incoming classmen, so ninth freshmen, an opportunity to be on campus without everyone being on campus.
Oh, smart.
And so they call it bridge. It might just be orientation or something like that. But see if your school has orientation or anything like that where the kiddos can be on campus because, as they get older, the campuses get bigger
Right.
and it can be intimidating for them to have to navigate that, especially on the first day of school when they're already dealing with, oh my gosh, there's so many people, like, just it can be sensory overload.
Sure. Sure.
So for you, Chris, definitely look and see if next summer they're offering any bridge programs for incoming new middle schoolers. And for anyone whose kid is transitioning to a new school, it was fantastic because my kiddo is going to a school. Funny enough, my kiddo is going to a school that actually Chris went to, which
Yeah.
I don't even know how many acres it is. It must be
Oh,
100
it's huge.
acres.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. And so I really was looking for how can I get her familiar with the campus
Hmm.
before school starts so that when it comes to finding her classrooms, it's a no-brainer. And the bridge totally did that because so she did the bridge and she got to meet one of her teachers and she got to make some friends in advance. And when the night came for us to pick up school books, she was like, "Okay, mom, we're going this way. Okay, mom, we're going that way." So she felt so
Perfect.
comfortable. That was really huge. And if your school doesn't have that, then I would recommend calling the school and saying, "Hey, is there any way I can bring my kiddo to campus early and we just walk around and get a sense of the lay of the land?"
That's a great idea. I'm coordinating a back to school breakfast for teachers. It's the breakfast is going to be about a good week before school actually starts. And so most of the teachers are there and campus is kind of technically open. So that's a great idea to see if they would allow just a quick tour if they don't have a formal program.
Yeah. It was such a great thing. I would say 100% affected her ability to make that transition from homeschooling where she wasn't just with me one-on-one. She did
Mhm.
take classes outside the home, but even in those situations, there were never more than 70 kids around. And
Sure.
suddenly finding her way around a campus with what, 3,000 kids milling around,
Ooh,
that's just a really different experience
absolutely. Yeah, for anybody. Sure.
for anyone. Okay, so now I have a question for you, Christine. Do your kiddos have lockers?
We do not, well, let me take this back. They have a shared space, is what they call it, inside of their classroom. So they can keep some of their textbooks there, but they are still responsible for bringing their backpack home each day and to school the next morning.
And is there a lock on it?
There's no lock.
No lock. Okay.
No lock.
So
Hmm.
as kids are getting older, right, they start having lockers.
Hmm.
And I realized last summer that my kiddo had never used a combination lock. I know
Oh,
I know the school you
right.
and I met at, right? We had combination locks. That was something that
Sure.
we had to do. And I also feel like maybe they were just around a lot more when you and I were growing up. We're Gen X.
Right.
Like, I don't remember a combination lock being a new concept to me, but I knew
Sure.
it was gonna be a new concept for my kiddo, so I actually found a combination lock in my miscellaneous drawer in the kitchen, and I showed her how to use it, because 'cause they're all the same, right? Like, the 3 to the
Smart.
right, twice to the
Hmm.
left, 1 time, and it took her about 5 minutes to do it, but she said that when she went the next day to school and she had to use her locker, she felt so much more comfortable having
Yeah.
done it before.
I think that's so smart. I mean, I've seen those little YouTube videos where they're showing, a young kid the traditional phone, picking up the receiver to dial, and literally the kid staring at it. you know? doesn't occur to them to pick up the receiver. So I think that's smart to show the
Yeah, I mean, we think
combination
if
lock.
things are so intuitive that aren't intuitive. When the first time my kiddo did standardized testing, she did it at a computer location, and she had to use a mouse. And
Oh, right.
it just so happened that she had used a computer with a mouse before, but I had heard from other parents that the kids had no idea how to use a mouse because they were used to touch screens, the
Sure.
tablets.
Sure.
And so, a lot of times we take these things for granted that, oh, they're just gonna be able to pick this up. But, I always go back to the fact that humans, I was an anthropology major in undergrad. So I always think about how we were programmed, and humans are designed to learn by mimicking what they see. And
Mm,
so having a combination lock in her hand, seeing me do it, made it so much easier for her to do it and just reduced her stress level. So
right.
it was such a small thing, but it made a big difference.
Yeah. Smart.
So, a fourth thing is kind of something everyone's always thinking about, but from a slightly different point of view, which is that people are always thinking about new clothes for the school
Mm,
year.
right.
And I have to say, I do very little clothing shopping in general because of tip number 4, which is join your local buy nothing group.
Smart.
A- and start asking for clothes now. Everyone has clothes to give away. Ever since starting my Buy Nothing group 5
Absolutely.
years ago, I have literally maybe I purchased 5% of my kiddos' clothing. It's like bras, underwear, and shoes.
Hmm.
And that's only like everyday shoes. Specialty shoes, we get those from the Buy Nothing group. And if you don't know what Buy
Smart.
Nothing is, it is a wonderful online organization. You can find your local group on Facebook. It's a closed private group, and it is a small geographic area. So these are going to be people who live in your vicinity. And
Hmm.
all you do, it's a gifting economy, which is there's no bartering of any kind. There's no money.
Hmm.
It's literally just, hey, I just cleaned out my kiddo's closet. I have 2 bags of size 3 clothing. Who wants it?
Yep. It's
And
great.
so, starting a couple weeks ago, I put out a thing like, "Hey, here's my kiddos back to school wish list. If you have, these kind of jeans, let me know." It's a great way to get clothes for, nothing, and to keep stuff out of the landfill. And, you know, I once heard a statistic that there is enough clothing on the planet right now to clothe the next 6 generations of humans,
That's right. Oh, that's right.
which is crazy. I mean, if you've seen the images of piles of clothes in the desert or
Right.
washing up on shores because it's not getting disposed of properly, then you know.
Yeah.
And so there's really no need to buy hardly any clothing nowadays. And our family is actually on a really strict, like, if it's not bras and underwears, it's now a plural noun.
Yeah, that's smart. Well, luckily, my kiddos don't have any, uh, what's the word? Self consciousness about going thrift shopping. They think it's
Hmm.
fun. They're looking for treasures, and the truth is, there's often clothing there still with the tags on. For a variety of
Absolutely.
reasons. People get gifts that they didn't have an opportunity to exchange. They may have bought something that turned out their kiddo was too small for. There's all sorts
Yeah.
of reasons, and to be able to find brand new items or really great quality
Yeah.
clothing, because obviously a lot of clothing that is cotton and linen and made well lasts, and that's
Absolutely.
why it's been regifted to the thrift shop. They're amazing finds. So the kids
Yes.
love kind of digging through there and seeing, how they can build outfits for back to school. So we
And
definitely take advantage of that window.
thrifting's great. We thrift as well. Usually, buy nothing's always my first stop. And then if we're not able to find exactly what she's looking for, then we thrift. The other thing too is that you could host a clothing swap. There's a mom in our Buy Nothing group who likes to host a
Smart.
clothing swap just because it's a lot more kind of hands-on and you get to
Hmm.
socialize. And that is such a fun thing to do. Just say, hey, everyone bring your stuff over. Take what you want, leave what you don't, and then you just do a big drop off of donations, whatever is left over.
I love that.
And a lot of times what happens there is I will actually take all of the clothes that are just kind of functional clothing, and I can take them to my church, and we do a outreach to people experiencing homelessness. And so I can help my friend, move these clothes on very easily. So it's just a
I love
win-win all
that.
the way around, and it's so fun.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes we'll go back to a clothing swap 3 times during the event because it's just constantly changing.
Sure.
It's like this boutique just got refreshed. It's so fun. Okay, so my final tip for getting your kiddo ready for back to school is to have them pack up whatever they are going to need for the next day, the night before, and leave it by the front door. So let's say tomorrow you're going to the
I
beach.
love that.
Tell your kiddo, grab a towel, grab a bag, whatever you need for the beach, and put it by the front door, and have them
Mhm.
do that every day so that when it comes time to start school, they pack their backpack the night before and have that ready by the door.
It's great.
You actually told me that your school district helps out with the back to school supplies. Tell me about that.
Yes. So they now have a vendor that they work with that has the kit that you purchase ready to go. And the kit has every item that you might go to Target or Walmart to shop for. So we're talking the pens and the composition notebooks and the erasers, the markers, and it's all appropriate for the grade level. My kiddos are in a Spanish immersion program, so there's certain items that or booklets that they'll use for that program, and it's great. It's you just don't have to think about what supplies the kids are going to need, and everything actually gets delivered to the school and to the classroom. And so when we're thinking about our backpack, we're really packing our lunch, our snack, and water bottle. So that makes it easier for all of the supplies to be pre ordered and at the school ready to go.
So they just show up on the first day and all the supplies are there. Is that how it is?
Exactly. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. So it just makes it so much easier. And, the truth is as you know, when you do take kids shopping and you're needing
Mm.
a box of number 2 pencils, there's the box of number 2 pencils, and then there's like the branded box with the logos and the 3 times the cost, which is for the kids much cooler. So it's nice just to have those supplies pre-ordered and you're done. You can just let the kids know, oh, got that taken care of for you. You don't need to worry about it.
Well, and also it's kind of like uniforms, right? Because then everyone has the same thing.
That's exactly right. And I think that might have been what was happening is that
Mm.
there's, mechanical pencils apparently are very popular again with the kids.
They're the
And
Ferrari of the pencil world.
that's right. That's right. And so I think you're right. Having it uniform, everyone's using the same pencil, the same composition notebook, especially at that age, the 8 to 12-year-old. It's, stuff they're noticing and thinking about. So I like that that's a non issue.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go quickly summarize. Unfortunately, when I put this up, Christine, it's gonna cover your lovely face. But just to quickly summarize the 5 steps for preparing kiddos for school. 1, start waking them up earlier,
Hmm.
2 weeks in advance, 10 minutes a day to make it easy. And that will they'll be tireder and they'll go to bed earlier too.
Yeah.
Number 2, see if your school has an orientation or a bridge program. And if they don't have that, then give your kiddo the opportunity to walk around the school early by calling in and saying, hey, can I do a self-guided tour or something? This is especially important if your kiddo's starting at a new school, new
Right.
grade, just to have them feeling not stressed about a new place. I mean, I know, just as a segue, like anytime I have to go somewhere big, like a university campus, or like
Hmm.
I'm speaking at the LA Convention Center in 2 weeks. I'm doing a training and I have I've looked at the maps. I have oriented myself like, okay, I'm going to park here and then I have to walk here and I have to go there. And I've decided that I'm going to show up 3 days before I have to train to walk the space so that on the day that I'm training, I'm not running around like, where's the bathroom? Where's the water? Like,
Sure.
it brings down your stress level so much. So if you can do that for your kiddo, absolutely do that. Number 3, show them how to use a combination lock if they're going
Yep.
into a grade where they're going to have to use one. It's such a tiny thing, but it makes such a huge difference. Just them actually physically knowing that they can do it.
Sure.
4, when it comes to getting clothes for the school year, check out your local Buy Nothing, go thrifting, or maybe host a clothing swap. These are really low-cost ways to get higher quality clothing and also just, keep clothes out of the cycle of the landfills.
Sure.
And then final tip, help them pack what they need the night before for whatever it is you're doing during the day so that they can get into the habit of packing their backpacks the night before. That AM scramble of throwing things together, it just adds stress that's not necessary. So if you can pack the bag the night before, whenever I have an event, my bags are always packed the night before. Sometimes they're even in my car. If they're not anything high value, I'll just put them in my car so I don't have to even deal with it in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Great ways to reduce stress. And one, extra tip is that my kiddo knows that at the end of 2 weeks, the day before school, if she keeps with her getting up earlier every 10 minutes, then we'll have a little reward breakfast the day before
like
school. Like just as an
that.
extra incentive to like, yes, I know, but it's something you have to do and we're going to reward you because that's a way to motivate you.
I like that.
Thank you so much for joining me, Chris. So much fun as always to have you.
Thank you.
And I want to talk about what you were saying about when you're going to have to start navigating having 2 different drop-offs, because I know that's something that a lot of my friends struggle with, the challenges there.
Yeah.
But I guess
So
it was not till next year. So
yeah, and also let your friends know to start sharing all of their tips and I wish I had knowns and all of that stuff so I can start keeping a little list.
Yeah, feel free to put comments in the chat wherever you're watching this. YouTube, Instagram, you can put them anywhere. I will see them after the fact as well. And also, if you want to re-listen to this will go up as the Harness the Power of Planning podcast. And be sure to rate, subscribe, like wherever you listen. It helps me out in the algorithm and it costs you nothing. And remember that planning makes everything easier. Thanks so much and hope you're